All right, Alan, thank you. Well, the frigid weather also affecting this legislative session, and one organization's attempt this week to bring attention to the topic of mental illness.
Yeah, the local chapter of NAMI, or the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is having to cancel their trip to Austin, but that's not holding them back. Our Bill Churchwell joins us now with that story. Hey, Bill.
Hey there. Yeah, those I spoke with were looking forward to meeting face-to-face with lawmakers to advocate the need for more resources and funding for programs. The local chapter, no doubt, disappointed they won't get to do that this week, but they are not feeling defeated. For Angela Horner and Heather Loeb, plans to rally at the steps of the Texas Capitol.
We're all geared up and ready to go, and then just this morning, the weather.
Interrupted by Mother Nature.
So now they're talking about rescheduling the event.
The local NAMI members were set to take 40 people from the coastal bend and meet up with chapters from across the state in an attempt to bring a focus to issues impacting those affected by mental illness.
Angela and I both have severe mental illness, but who would think that?
Loeb said it was about putting a face to a name. The organization has a long list of what they would like to see become legislative priorities, like what's being called non-medical switching.
Like a volunteer tell a story of a family member who died by suicide because the insurance company switched medications without them knowing, because they would not approve the medication that was actually working for their child. You know, that kind of story is going to have an impact.
And that's not all they're fighting for.
Since 988 went live in July, there have been 2 million calls.
The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline connects a person to a trained counselor who can talk them through a mental health crisis. The problem? There aren't enough counselors out there to pick up the phone. Something Loeb found out herself when faced with her own crisis a few years back, before it was 988.
And I remember being so upset and despondent, and I looked down and it said there are 76 people in the queue ahead of you. And I thought, oh my gosh, why should I wait here?
Horner says it all comes down to funding.
One of the things NAMI is fighting for is to increase the line item for community mental health crisis services.
On Monday, the women presented a crisis intervention training for 30 police cadets. Loeb says she never thought she would be in an advocacy role that would allow her to help put on a training like this, let alone work on her own piece of legislation.
With everything these kids are going through with the pandemic and everything else, they need mental health breaks.
She's now getting help from the state NAMI organization, as well as State Senator Judith Zaffirini from Laredo, to try and get a bill introduced to allow mental health days for kids in school.
We have a whole team of people that are fighting to make these laws better, to help the people who may not feel they have a voice.
And as you just heard, there is a lot this group wants to tackle at the state level. However, the women say the meeting with lawmakers now most likely won't happen until April or May, which is near the end of the legislative session. We'll keep you updated on their efforts.
All right, please do. Thank you, Bill Churchwell, for that report.